Welcome to Haunted Road Media. I'm author and ghost historian Mike Ricksecker. We have something a little new here today. This is our first ever interview on Haunted Road Media. Yeah, sure, we've done interviews before in the different shows like Ghosts and Legends, Paranormal Vines, things like that, but this is actually a full interview show. Don't have a name for it, but we'll see how it goes, and your feedback on this is going to be very important. So we have a special guest with us here today, and that is Kyle Mecca, who is the writer and director of the movie Dwelling, which the trailer for that was just released last week. And it's a pleasure to have Kyle on. So Kyle, thanks for joining us today.
I'm doing good. How you been?
Been pretty well. It was a little crazy getting set up here, so definitely appreciate you bearing with me, through all the little technical difficulties and all of that.
No problem.
Great. So, tell us about Dwelling. What are we in store for here?
You're in store for something that's new, but yet it's old. So, I mean, it's almost what I wanted to do is tell a story of basically that I grew up, even though I'm 24. I grew up loving the 70s type horror films and the slow burns and the tension and the suspense and stuff like that. And I think that's something that we're missing nowadays. Hopefully it'll still work nowadays. It's a different type of film. And that's what I wanted to bring to an audience, was that nice throwback to that type of horror film.
Yeah, I've read before that you were doing that slow type of burn, that nice slow build up, and really kind of throwing back to those old horror films. So what are your influences for that? What are you drawing from?
For me, I mean, like of course, The Shining's always been talked about, but I mean, like
right.
Back then, I really love The Omen. I love Rosemary's Baby. Polanski is one of my favorite type of directors for that. Reason is just the way that he was able to use tension, and just perfect. Alfred Hitchcock was and is my favorite director of all time. So I mean, it's just learning the little stuff like that. So I mean, that's a big influence. I mean, if you look at modern films, that was a huge influence on Dwelling. I would say The Orphanage, by that Guillermo del Toro co-wrote and he executive produced. Now that it's a Spanish film, but I love the style of it. I love the storytelling of it and the message. And that was something that we really looked at when we started actually doing this film.
Okay, great. Now you just released a trailer, which I thought was fantastic. So what are you trying to convey to the audience about your film through the trailer?
Really what we wanted to do is just start that idea of there's something lurking, and that's basically what we wanted to get to, that there's something there's something watching, and there's something lurking, and we want you to have a hint of it, but not really know that too much about it. Just the basic storyline, this is why she's there, and there's something coming around the corner, but we can't see all the way around the corner yet. And that's exactly what we went into thinking about for the trailer, and I think we accomplished it. So really it's now build up to the next time we see something from the movie, and then eventually when the movie comes out.
Yeah, and I thought that was great. You didn't really, give a whole lot of detail about the storyline, but there was enough of that. I don't know, kind of that creepiness, that ambiance about it that left you wondering. Okay, I want to find out more about this. So, are we going to get more trailers before release?
You're going to get one more, which we will start working on soon, and that'll get a little bit more of the storyline and all that. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to play this movie close to our chest, because nowadays it seems like with a lot of trailers, a lot of modern day trailers, it's so much so of giving it away, giving it all away, and it's to the point of where it's like, why do I even want to see the movie?
Right.
I've seen it, and I know where this beat is and this beat is, and there's no surprises anymore. Where we wanted to keep that tension and that mystery, even into the trailer. So yeah, we will reveal a little bit more information in the next trailer. But, we still want to keep it very close to our chest, in which we're not going to give you big set pieces. We're not going to, we might see like a shot of it here and there, but to really know what's going on, we're keeping that story close.
Great. Well, I'll be looking forward to the next trailer then, definitely. So you've been working with Brandon T. Williams of Bewildered Media Productions on this. How did all that come together?
Me and Brandon have been friends since college, and it really started more of a discussion. He really got his production company off the ground, and he made Scope of Practice, and that really got a buzz. And I knew him before that, and it really just started a conversation whenever we were together. Just for some reason, the idea of horror films came up, and we saw that we were very, very eye to eye on how they're made and how we want them to be made. What we liked, what scared us, what really kept with us for all these years when we talked about horror. But not only that, but Brandon, like with all of his films, he wants to make sure that he's telling a message. He wants to make sure that the message is relevant to people out there. And for me, even though it's a horror film, I wanted to make sure that story came first. Story is essential to it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All that has to come first before the scares and before all the tension. Build it through the story and that it has a meaningful theme to it, and then you can start pulling back the layers and start adding little stuff here and there. And that's what I think is essential for me, especially with a good horror film.
Right.
Because nowadays it seems like everything's so cookie cutter. They all look the same, they all feel the same, they have jump scares, they know what here and there. But the story is always lacking. It's
right.
like, they figure out what the scares are first, and then, okay, now I guess we should put a story behind this.
No, I definitely agree with that. Definitely big on story, certainly. So that's fantastic that you've really taken that into consideration. Definitely.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So now I know you utilized crowdfunding to put this together, especially Kickstarter. So how did all that work out? How was your experience with using resources like that?
It's been really enjoyable and yet very, very. I've done it before this film, and I was semi-successful. The first one I failed at. I was semi-successful on the second one. And then this one, it was kind of like, okay, no holds barred. Let's just, jump into the ocean and let's see what happens. And it ended up pretty well. It's tough because you always have to keep on it. Like it's making sure that there's no bridges burned, and there's people who actually like the idea, and make sure that they can see eye to eye with you, and get to know people on a personal level, because you want that support. You want that feeling of that they believe in your idea, they believe in you as a person as well. And we went through Kickstarter, and we made I think just up over 12,000 on Kickstarter, and every single day for that entire campaign, it's just talking to people, networking, and getting people to believe in you and your idea. It's a tough experience. It's definitely worth trying. I think people who are in the filmmaking business, independent, all that, need to do it just to learn. It's a huge learning experience. It takes a couple times to finally get what's going. And I think even with this, we were successful, but yet there's a lot of things we could have done differently.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a great learning experience, but it seems like you did really well with it, so that's fantastic that it worked out. So now, all right, tell me what it was like working with the acting talent. You had some great talent on this movie with Erin Marie Hogan, Devney Penn, and Mu-Shaka Benson. How was it like working with them?
They were awesome. It's crazy how it came together, but Devney heard the idea, and we pitched her the idea early on, and right from just the basic idea, she jumped on it.
Nice.
And was in love with it, and she wanted in on it, so which was really awesome. And then when it came to finding Erin, her and Mu-Shaka were just two of those people who, as soon as they, took on that role, as soon as they walked in that room, you knew right there, like that was them, and that was Ellie, and that was Gavin. Those were those two characters, and no one else can convince us otherwise, And we kept going, and it was just like nobody grabbed our attention as much as them, and they seemed to just fall right into it.
Nice.
Erin was really awesome to work with. I'd love to work with her again. She's a very, very into her craft, and it's very cool seeing someone like that work the way that they do. And seeing the LA crowd in Buffalo and seeing how I'm able to learn off of that. Because for me, I'm a young director, and it's like I have a huge learning experience too, and it was good seeing that. She's amazing, though, because we put her in some tough situations, and she was a trooper. She was just, nope, I'll do it. I want to do it myself. Don't worry about it.
Nice.
Which was really awesome. Mu-Shaka's been a dream so far. He's such a big teddy bear, which makes it so much funnier when you actually put him in this situation.
Oh, yeah.
But the key with him, and he gives in a hell of a performance, is that there's the little girl into the story. The character's name Izzy, but it's played by this little girl who's about 9, 10, and her name's Abigail Marion. She's brand new to the scene. And, you know, the two things that they say in Hollywood when you're casting, or when you're making a movie, it's like, it's always scary if you have a kid in it or you have an animal in it.
Right.
Especially like with the kid, you know, it's like you don't know. And we don't really have as crazy access to a ton of different casting directors and stuff like that to see what talent's out there. And we ran into Abby, and she just natural all the way. And we were blown away by it, all of us on set. And when you get a set where you have all these people who are doing, you know, giving these performances that keep on elevating each other, it almost kind of creates like a little bit of a competition where they keep on trying to push it to the next level. And it's just amazing to feel the buzz in that room. It was an awesome experience, a great learning experience for me again as well. And I hope that you'll be able to actually convey that on screen, and you'll be able to see that too as an audience.
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, just, you know, from the trailer so far and the little clips, even the little teaser trailer that was put out a few months ago, you know, I think, you know, the audience could really start to, you know, sense that. I mean, at least me personally, I could. So, you know, it'd be fantastic to see the full film. So, now what's in store for Kyle Mecca? Do you have some new film projects coming up, some new writing projects? What's on tap for you?
Right now, it's fully focused on Dwelling, because I really like keeping focus on one project at a time. I mean, like, I have some stuff on the back burner where I'm writing a few things, especially with friends and stuff like that, and I always like to keep the mill going, but I really want to make sure that I'm focused on one project at a time, because then you start, I think, genres start mixing, and your
Right.
ideas and worlds start mixing, and especially as a writer, it's really hard to jump back and forth, you know, between the 2 different worlds, or 3 different worlds. And so with Dwelling now, it's, you know, full force, finishing this, getting it exactly how I wanted. While on the side, you know, I have a couple things that I'm writing, and hopefully will eventually get made, you know, and,
Right.
you know, hopefully ride the tide, you know. But other than that, it's, you know, local work in Buffalo and keeping on the film scene and doing that. But it's been fun, and hopefully the ride keeps going.
Cool, very cool. Well, that's going to about wrap it up here. Is there anything else you want to plug or let us know about before we say goodbye?
Just check out the trailer. Hopefully you enjoy it. Share it. Like our page on Facebook. It's facebook.com/dwellingmovie. Twitter handle as well. And just enjoy.
Awesome. Well, you know, thanks again, Kyle, for joining us. It's been fantastic. For those viewers, if you have not yet watched the Dwelling trailer, by all means, please, you know, check it out. I'll provide the links below here, and please go ahead and leave comments and feedback, you know, about the interview, about Dwelling. You know, I know something I'm really looking forward to, and from some of the buzz that I've heard, a lot of people are really looking forward to this film that's coming out in the fall. So. And of course, if you like this video, please go ahead and click that like button. That always helps. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Until next time.